Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here. Welcome to the beginning of the 4th season with the Newcastle United career mode. 4 bloody seasons is by far the most I've ever gone in one single career mode, and I had to. I simply had to after the way we ended it, unfortunately, last season. We came so brutally close to winning the Premier League. We were a couple of games back, but it looked like we maybe could have done it had the end of our season been a bit better. We lost the FA Cup semi-final in penalties in a real bullshit. I'm struggling still to deal with the way that we lost, the manner in which we lost it with just an awful, I don't even want to talk about it. But it's a fresh, brand new season. We've continued to improve the team as much as we can. The big improvement is Timo Verner at striker. I have never signed this man in a career mode before. 87 rated, and he's got a bit of pace about him. You could say that, shall we say. He's got some nice ball control, dribbling, good with the ball at his feet so he can finish as well. Nice overall stats as well. And then 5'11", not a super amount of height, but good skill moves, good weak foot as well. Looks like he can do it on either side, so I feel pretty good having him up top. He is, again, the only pre-contract signing that we made. We've got players like Sabitzer returning from injury as well. This is what my starting 11 looks like. Again, no massive changes to it except for the addition of Timo Verner. And I'm currently rocking with a budget that's just a little over 60 million, a wage budget of just a little under 200,000. So there's enough money in there for one maybe big signing. And I'm definitely going to look to sell a couple of deadwood players now that I'm really starting to reshape the team. And I've got a bunch of youth academy players I want loaned away as well. Even though this might end up being the final season, I still want to do them right, try to develop them. And who knows, we'll still hopefully see a lot of youth academy players getting games like we have seen with Patrick Wilson. Felix Avila probably on the way out because he's just not really had the right skill set for a winger, unfortunately, in this game. Terrible weak foot, terrible skill moves and all that. But Javier Gonzalez is one as well. Thomas Payard as well. There are a bunch of youth academy players that have been getting games. But of course, as I mentioned, I am still looking to sign more players too. And I'm probably fine with my back four. I think wingers and my striking options I'm pretty happy with. It's the middle of the park I really wanted to focus on. I'm happy with my midfield at the moment. We've got Ramsey, Aouar, and Sabitzer at centre attacking midfield who does the job. But they're all about 83, 84 rated. I wanted to go for a big superstar, high 80 rated midfielder. A bloke like Milinkovic-Savic would be, I think, fantastic. Although, again, a lot of these players are going to be quite pricey. We've got a few others like Zielinski. I'm going to have to try to learn his name if I do sign him as well. As a bunch of other players like Naby Keita as well. Jorginho's gone to Stoke City. There are some players in here. Even maybe a new centre attacking midfielder like Fekir, who I think might be in the last year of his contract. Maybe we could get him cheap. To start off with training drills this season, I'm going to give 2 to Alphonso Davies and more training his technical attributes and his passing, things like long passing, crossing, vision, short passing, because I'm looking to start Alphonso Davies from now on at that right midfield spot because I like him way more than Cengiz Under, who, even though he's higher rated, Davies has just been brilliant for me, no matter what side I play him, whether it be left mid or right mid. So I want to develop him a bit more as a player, get him a little higher rated. And the others I'm going to give to youth academy players, Orellana, a right back, Connor Collins, a centre attacking mid, and Cardoso, I think Igor Cardoso, the centre midfielder. So hopefully maybe these lads will start getting a bit more of a run. It's likely we'll see Orellana come in for maybe Yedlin at times throughout the season as well. So, hoping for some pretty good results to get things started off. We get an A rating with Davies and an A rating with Orellana. But again, I'm really hoping that passing of Alphonso Davies really skyrockets. Because once it does, he'll become an even scarier player. But I'm going to just continue to advance on forward. I probably won't go for any players just yet. Maybe I'll wait a couple of weeks. Maybe I'll wait till this preseason tournament is finished. But I'm hoping we get a bunch of offers for players I've got transfer listed and loan listed. Once again, for preseason tournaments, I throw my pretty much rotated second team out there most of the time. Dummett's already picked up an injury. Perez has scored. Let's skip ahead. We get a 3-1 win. That's nice. But again, I don't really play preseason tournament games anymore, and not even finals, really. I just want to focus only on competitive football. Paul Dummett, too, by the way, is out for 2 months straight away in the first game of the season after picking up an LCL injury. And I can't believe it. 2 months. The funny thing was, in the background, we were actually trying to sell him because he's not really going to feature that much this season. And Monaco obviously pulled out the deal because he gets injured in the first game of the season. Well, again, that is why we play the second team, because if any of my main players were to get injured, then that would be a real problem. Let's skip ahead again. We've lost this one 2-0, unfortunately, to Madrid, but thankfully at least we get out of it unscathed. And now for one last group game, we need to get the win really to move on to the knockouts. Are we going to pick it up? We don't, and we get an injury to Thomas Strakosha, another one, and Avila's the goal scorer, which, all right, good, but are we going to even go through into the next round? Oh my God, I think we've been knocked out. We've been knocked out because we couldn't get a win against San Lorenzo. And Thomas Strakosha, thankfully, it's not a 2-month injury. It's only a 2-day injury, so he'll still be fit to start the season, which is good. We pick up 3.5 million for only making it through just completing our group games, and then we've of course got an offer for Ivan Toney again, bloke that not really going to get a super amount of games once more. I'm getting 10 million for him, again just boosting the amount of money that we have left, and that's just going to go toward being able to, really it all cumulatively comes toward getting a real superstar midfielder. So Ivan Toney is going to go to Fulham for just under 10 mil, and that's definitely going to help us out with our funds and all that to pick up some superstar. Stoke City have come in with a big offer for Felix Avila. Now, this is the one I've been waiting for. I've wanted to get this guy off the books for ages, because even though he's decently rated and so young, you would assume I'd really want to play him, but I just want him sort of off the books because he's just not been good for me when he's on the pitch. So now I'm going to hopefully make some bank off him. We'll remove the sell-on clause. I'll propose a new transfer fee. Hopefully they don't walk out. Hopefully they don't actually mean that is literally all they can pay. But 50 million, come on. 48.2 million. Are we really going to barter over like a couple $100 grand? I think stuff it. I barely got anything out of them, anything extra for it, but stuff it. It's at least an extra 5 or 6 mil. But there we go. We're done. We've got him finally off the books. And we've brought in like 50 million for crying out loud. Confirmation now. Felix Avila's gone. Tooney is also gone as well. So that's about 50 million added to the budget. We've probably got about 100 million or so now that we're working with. Yep, our transfer budget is 111 million for crying out loud. I think it's time let's do this. We are going in for that big player. And the player I really want the most, I don't care how expensive he ends up being, but it's Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. A guy that can play CM or centre attack and midfield, so we can move around my midfield three quite easily. If we need to play him at centre attack and mid, we can. I'll probably play him at CM and keep maybe Sabitzer up there for now. But I tell you what, Milinkovic-Savic could very well take over that role soon as well if he's 89 rated. He may end up costing us around about everything that we've got, but I really still want to go in for him. I'll get the ball rolling with basically what he's worth at 80 million and just hopefully kick it off from there. So they come back at us with 99.2 million. If we hopefully meet them halfway and say 90 million, that would be brilliant, but I know it's never going to be that simple. But let's do it anyway. Proposing the new transfer fee of 90. I'm meeting you just a little over halfway. Hopefully that maybe should be good enough. And indeed it is. 90 million for Milinkovic-Savic. This is going to be maybe the biggest transfer that I've made this entire career mode. And now it's all about working out a wage, and then he will be finally a Newcastle player. His current wage is 140. I may as well just offer a slight increase on that, 150, and I'll be honest, I'll just hope that they come back at us with, oh, we want this much worth of a signing bonus. We want this much of a pay wage decrease, because it's always a decrease. Keep your eye on it. What did I tell you? They always bring it down all the bloody time. He wants 3 million for 20 appearances and 2 million as a signing bonus. I'm so done with bartering over pennies and cents when it comes to wage and all that sort of stuff for player contracts. So I'm literally just going to accept this, not even bother. We've got the money. I'm bringing him in. He may be the only transfer we make in this window, but that is that. Milinkovic-Savic is a Newcastle United player. Here we go then. This is how the team is looking, a little bit different. Milinkovic-Savic, look first up at those skill attributes. That is just godlike. That is unbelievable. 89 rated. He's 6'3", centre mid, centre attack and midfield. He can play at both those spots as well. Got the specialities and the technical and all the mental and physical. I've wanted to sign this guy for so long, and now finally he's in. Literally, he's only got like one stat below 60, and that's his penalties, which, okay, fine, we can get someone else to take the penalties. That's cool. And his other lower stats are crossing 60 and volley 70. Everything else is at least mid to high 70s at minimum. The majority of it is high 80s to in the 90s. Well, lads, we pretty much blew the budget, all of it, straight away on one player. I might be inclined to make another signing. It just depends on who we end up selling. Like Dimitri Oberlin, 30 million. If I could get a fair amount for him, then maybe we might be talking about bringing in another signing. Anyway, we've got the final batch of scout reports in. We'll see if there's anyone worth signing, and if there is, I'll be sure to show you. If not, then we'll just move on. But after this, I'm going to send the scouts out again to 3 more countries. Doesn't exactly look like Portugal came up with anything super impressive except for Nunes. That's really about it, though, probably because he's the most promising player of the bunch. I'll sign him, but that's it. Looking in Belgium again, the highest rated player would be Tom Mays. Again, another goalkeeper. We've got so many of them. His value is actually higher than the last goalkeeper we signed. I know I've got abundance of goalkeepers, but again, he's the best of the bunch. I may as well bring him in. And in England, the best player again is, honestly, even the best player is not worth signing. The best player is like, Nicholas Turner, with 62. And even he's gone away anyway, to be fair. Like, nah, there's no one worth signing, no one worth wasting my time and money on there. And guys, look, obviously I'm still going to send scouts to England. I'm an English club I have to try to find English talent. It only makes sense. But for these two, I'm literally going to send them to the most random country I can think of, just as for a joke. Why not? Just to see if they do come up with anything, if we can come up with anything amazing. I reckon the first random country is going to be Romania. Why not? 180 grand for 9 months. Romania, people. That's where we're going to find the next superstar. Hell, they've got what? Hadji, and that's about it, to be fair. And maybe they've got another couple of decent players, but all right, Romania hopefully will find the next superstar. And for the final scout, I was thinking of sending him to South America and sending him somewhere like, I don't know, bloody Bolivia or something like that. But no, instead what I think I'm going to do is this. I'm going to send him away to Croatia. Hell, they made it to a World Cup final. Obviously, they must be doing something right with their talent. So yeah, sure, let's send him away to Croatia. Maybe we can find the next Luka Modric or, I don't know, Marcelo Brozovic. Why was I going to say Brozovic? Mario Mandzukic. That's who I was thinking of. So England, Romania, and Croatia. Let's see how they end up for us. Here's another offer though. Adam Armstrong. All right, a player that has recently left Newcastle, only for a very, very small amount of money. But I'm looking to sell him for maybe 16.8 million. And apparently I couldn't really get much more for him, so I'm not even going to bother negotiating and risk threatening the deal. I'm going to send him away for sure. And obviously Marcel Sabitzer, I'm just going to reject that because I'm perfectly happy with keeping him here. My player training is going pretty well as well. Alphonso Davies is already at an 82. We've got Orellana up to about a 75. I might actually stop giving him drill soon and swap it up. Connor Collins and Cardoso, I'll probably keep going. I'll keep picking youth academy players, get them up to about mid-70s, and then move on to another player and get them up to about the same level. Bayern Munich have signed Nicolas Otamendi. That's a bit of an interesting one, and still nothing coming through as we're getting close to the first Premier League game of the season. Juventus are looking to sign Suarez as well. Man, they're picking all the superstar La Liga players, aren't they? Transfer offer for Davies, again, not even gonna bother. I just like him way too much, and Adam Armstrong has gone to West Ham United. We get 13 million for that deal. And now another transfer offer, again for another player I don't want to get rid of, Javier Manquillo. And man, we haven't been able to sell an awful lot of players that I actually wanted to let go. We have been able to sell blokes like Adam Armstrong, Tony, and a few others, but I couldn't even loan anyone away before the first game of the Premier League season. Like, we had one loan offer, but even that didn't work out, unfortunately. But we have now made it to the first game of the Premier League season. We're starting off at home against Brighton. Hopefully, on paper, not the hardest game to start off a season. So we'll hopefully start with 3 points. My Premier League ambitions, I have to win it. I have to. Coming second last season, I've got to go one step further. One thing that I am about to do though, people, I've been looking at maybe trying to trade some players for others, and I've got this one, Tammy Abraham for Chancel Mbemba, a bloke that I barely played at all in Mbemba. He's like my 5th choice centre-back, and all I have to do is pay an extra 10 mil for him. I'm going to hopefully maybe only have to pay 5, 6, 7 or 8, but again, I'm happy to do that as well. I'll try to cut it down to something like 6, let's say 7, just to be safe. But yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with doing that if I can bring a striker like Tammy Abraham in. He'd only be like my 2nd or 3rd choice striker, but I'd still love to have him. And it looks like that's fine. All right, sweet, done. So we've traded my 5th choice centre-back for a striker that I really like the look of in Tammy Abraham, a fast, tall striker who looks like a really good alternative, someone that I'd probably make as my number 2, to be honest. The bloke is 6'5". He's or around about, got plenty of pace about him, and he definitely would be he'd definitely be a nice alternative to Timo Verner, if you know what I mean. And Dimitri Oberlin is sort of, he's been okay, but to me, all he has is pace. Hopefully, Abraham is not going to end up another Oberlin 2.0. And just like that, done. I pretty much offered him exactly what he was getting paid at Chelsea in terms of wage, and they didn't even bother coming back at us with a signing bonus or anything like that. And one last thing I'm just going to try to do before we end this episode, one more signing I'm going to make, and another trade hopefully I can make as well, is I'm going to go for another high quality left back. Now, the reason I want to do that is because I've currently got Javier Manquillo at left back. He can play both left back and right back. So for me, honestly, if I can get another even better left back to start there and we put Manquillo on the bench, if I need to substitute a fullback, then I can just put him at left back or at right back, no matter who it is. So I'd much prefer that and just have the bloke this person that I will eventually sign starting at left back all the time, unless he needs to be substituted. So I've got a bunch of different options, all about 83 at least, 84, 85, 86 rated. I'm going to see if I can trade for anyone. I'll let you know who I end up getting. Well, the player I initially tried to go for was Alejandro Grimaldo because he had a bloody blinder against me in the FA Cup final, so I would have loved to have brought him in, but I'm starting to think this is not going to happen. Yeah, they just want too much for him, unfortunately. The next player I'm attempting to sign, this one's Jose Gaia. Again, not so sure about this one because they counter-offered a pretty high amount to what I'm hitting them up with. So yeah, 51 mil. Again, I'm not going to be able to afford that yet. To give you a bit of an idea of the amount of left backs I tried to go and sign, it was, nothing was happening for us. I just need more cash. I think I've just got to sell a couple more players, and then maybe instead of trying to trade, I'll just buy another left back outright. I reckon that's what I'll do in the next episode. We'll sign a nice rated, hopefully mid-80s rated left back. We'll drop Manquillo to the bench, so that way if we need a fullback, he can play at left back or right back. Dummett will go into the reserves. Hopefully we might even be able to trade Dummett, but no, I'm hoping that we'll do a lot better next time out. And I'm looking at getting Grimaldo to be sure. Like, he's the left back that I'd probably most want. But I reckon we're just about done here. The first game of the Premier League season will be the next episode, so be sure to tune in for it. Until the next video, guys, my name is the MasterBucks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and have a good one.